We're going to continue on here with example number 2. We're going to be multiplying a monomial with a binomial. Monomial means one term, and binomial means bi is two, so two terms. That's what we're going to be multiplying right now. All right, so let's go ahead and check that bad boy out. All right, so the way that this kind of works here is we're going to use the distributive property. And so any number that is being multiplied by something in parentheses, it's a binomial, trinomial, polynomial, doesn't matter, but we want to distribute whatever's outside of here that's distributed to inside of it. So this means right here, negative 2r times 9r. Okay, so first let's multiply the coefficients. So that's negative 2 and 9, so that's negative 18. And then we multiply r times r. Okay, so that's the same thing as saying r to the power of 1 times r to the power of 1, so that's r to the power of 2. All right, cool beans. And then we do negative 2r, and we're going to distribute that to negative 15. So negative 2 and times negative 15 is a positive 30. And then we have our r left over right there. Okay. And we cannot add these together, even though it says plus sign, because the only way that we can add terms together is if we have the same variable, which we do, but they also must have the same exponent. And that's where that test fails right there, right? So that's how we know that we have the correct answer, and we can't go any further there. All right, now this guy, we want to go ahead and multiply this, and I know later on in this section, there's specific examples in our book about using FOIL. We're just going to use it right now. It's a pretty common way of multiplying two binomials. This is a binomial, and this is a binomial. And basically, FOIL means you do your first terms, right? So if I look at each binomial, this would be considered my first term, and this would be considered my first term. Okay, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and first multiply those guys right there first. FOIL F for first. So 2k times 3k is a 6k squared, right? And then the outside terms. So this is my outside, and that's my outside. So yes, this 2k is considered the first term, and it's also the outside. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 2k times 2m now. Okay, see that there? Because they're on the outside. And if you kind of look at this here, 2 times 2 is 4, and k times m is just, you just kind of put them together, is km. Okay. Then we want to do the inside terms, I, and so I'll do my inside here, and negative 5 times 3 is a negative 15, and then m times k is km. Okay. And lastly, we want to do our last term. So this negative 5m is in my last term, and this 2m is my last term. Okay, so just like that. So it's kind of like taking your first term and distributing it, and then take your second term and then distribute it. You can look at it like that as well. So this is negative 5 times 2 is a, oh, not a positive, but that's a negative guy right there. All right, so that's a negative 10 m squared. Great, but we don't want to stop there because we have some terms that we can actually combine together. Okay, we cannot combine 6k squared and 10m squared because they have different variables. But though we can combine these two middle terms, right? They have the same variable and the same exponent. So I'm just going to put this right here, 6k squared. So I'm just going to bring that down. 4 minus 15 is going to give us a negative 11 km. Okay, and then we have minus 10m squared. Okay, so notice that we can't combine anything else here because they don't have any common variable and the common exponent. Okay, great. And now for problem C, very similarly to what we did up here for problem B, is we want to first multiply our binomial first. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll worry about that 5k, and we can distribute it in. So let's just go ahead and first just do this right here right now. Okay, and let's just do the FOIL method again. All right, so I'm going to do my first term. All right, and that's going to give me a 2x squared. 2x times x is 2x squared, and then 2x times 4 is an 8x. Negative 1 times x is a negative x, and negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4. Let's go and combine our middle terms again here. So we have a 2x squared, just drop that down. 8x minus 1x is just going to give us a 7x, and then minus 4. Okay, so that right there represents everything that was inside of these brackets. Okay, but we still have to distribute this 5x. Okay, and just notice how we have to put this trinomial, I call it trinomial because it has 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, or you can call it a polynomial, but I have to take this polynomial and I have to put it in a group right here as a parenthesis, because that's what this was. See, this was 5x times this whole thing, so that in the same manner I have to multiply 5x by everything in here. All right, so let's just go ahead and do that, and I'll just use the distributive property. 5x times a 2x squared is a 10x cubed. 5x times a 7x is a 35x. And 5x times a negative 4 is a negative 20x. And that should do it.